And now for the main event. Let me start by saying that our artist, Lize Krüger, is one of the most talented, brave, engaging people I've been lucky enough to meet. Lize had for many years been a much respected member of the art community in her native South Africa. In the early 2000s, she also taught art classes for quadriplegics, and 15 years later taught art classes to young rape victims who were under court protection. Other notable successes include an exhibition in 2007 about child abuse and an exhibition documentation in 2011 about loss and grief. After some personal tragedies, Lize put her paintbrushes down, and until a chance meeting with myself at Gleneagles Golf Course in June 2016, never expected to pick up her brush again. So to set the scene, it was an early June day in typically sunny Scotland. The wind was blowing a hoolie and the rain was a boot. I was just enjoying a warm cup of tea on the 19th hole, having lost more balls than holes played, and I was keen to enjoy an evening meal with my in-laws Nico and Sandra, fiancée Nicole and daughter Binky, and two mysterious South Africans who were sharing the property with us. Hopefully without having to relive my unplanned tour of the Gleneagles undergrowth. My determination to keep dinner conversation away from the golf led me to sit between my mother-in-law Sandra and one of the mysterious South Africans I had mentioned, who turned out to be Lize. I could sense within a few minutes that in Lize, I had an ally, someone who didn't care for golf and wasn't afraid to say so. Conversations soon moved to safer waters. I asked Lize about her career, and she mentioned she was an artist. After a little persuading, Lize agreed to show us photos of her on her phone of some of her work. It was impossible not to be absorbed by the pain, sorrow, and yet strange hope that each of the works beautifully conveyed. As my father-in-law Nico and Lize's husband Henk threatened to bring the conversation back to golf, I swiftly brought up a subject I was passionate about, Heligan. And over the next 24 hours, I realised that our World War I Centenary programme might be just the perfect excuse for Lize to pick up her brushes once more. That autumn, we arranged to meet at Heligan so that Lize could get a feel for the place. As I suspected, Lize fell in love with Heligan and its narrative almost immediately. And after reading the updated and recently reprinted hardback copy of The Lost Gardens of Heligan by Smit, available to purchase in our shop for a very reasonable £25, Lize accepted the challenge and went about creating the 3 extraordinary pieces of work on show tonight. If this journey has taught me anything, firstly it is that great things happen after reading my father's book, and visiting Heligan of course, and secondly, I'm fairly certain that my greatest success on a golf course to date and beyond will be meeting Lize. Now I want to finish by reading a short email from Lize which was sent to me to assist me with this speech. Lize said, "Please edit as you feel fit," but it brought a tear to my eye when reading it, and I have decided not to change a word. Dear Alex, when I received the first call and email from you, I was doing the night shift with my first grandchild. I immediately Googled Heligan and all related info. I saw images in my head in those early morning hours of how I would approach it. After my first visit and tour of the grounds, I felt a deep connection to Heligan and its history. To confirm the feeling of belonging, a little red robin accompanied me during the first walk. Filled with emotion, I saw it as a sign. I attached special meaning to the appearance of a robin in my life. Apart from being a universal symbol of change, growth and renewal, it always showed up when I needed support and courage, and I was in serious need of that. At this time of your call and our subsequent discussions, I didn't have a working studio anymore, and for quite a while before that, I had absolutely no plans of ever producing any artwork again. During my research, I had moments of concern about the fact I did not have the lifelong cultural infusion of World War I and II commemorations as UK and European citizens have. To approach the Commission with integrity, I tapped into my own circumstances of loss. I lost my son as well as my younger brother while they were fighting on their own battlefield of pain and inner darkness. I could relate to every mother, sister, father who lost a young life during this horrific war, and the ripple effect it had on the broader society. While visiting memorial sites, in amongst others, Passchendaele, each grave or name felt like a son of mine was lying there. I was deeply moved by what I saw and experienced at Ypres. At the same time, I identified with the forgotten ones. To keep on living while haunted by memories of devastation, and to try and pick up the pieces of life after witnessing such extreme horror. During the period of my immersion and involvement with the 13 men, they became my sons, my brothers. I felt honoured to be able to bring homage to them and hope to convey on their behalf and their loved ones who stayed behind that somehow, in time, life plants new seeds in our souls. And slowly joy arrives in the small measures. And eventually, the memories live on in us, and through Heligan. I want to thank the directors of Heligan who took the gamble by offering me the commission, to Candy for seeing what I tried to convey, and on the technical side of things, a huge thank you to Andy and his team, and my daughter Renelle for her digital translations of my designs. My whole family and all my friends for their unwavering support, and especially Henk for his patience, for cheering me on, and who from a very early time realised he had to take charge of the kitchen. That's it. When I asked Lize if she would say a few words tonight, she gave me a stern South African glare, and then a few moments of silence, and she replied, "Alex, I'm an artist. I let my art do the talking. And at this point in the evening, I think I should do the same." Thank you. Lize is about. I believe she's going to be going back down to the Bothy shortly, so please introduce yourselves and give her a personal clap, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.